the US seemingly out of the picture, European leaders step in but face critical challenges if they're left in charge of Ukraine's defense. PKK militants in Turkey declare a ceasefire after waging an insurgency in the country for the last 4 decades.
A day after his disastrous meeting with President Trump in the White House, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has arrived in London for a summit with European leaders. Europe's leaders have rallied in support of Zelensky and Ukraine, but face critical challenges as they now appear to be Ukraine's main supporters.
Moi, ce qui m'importe, c'est que nous, Européens, nous en tirions les conséquences. Le plus important, c'est ça. C'est que les Européens regardent en face le monde dans lequel nous sommes. Il faut être maintenant lucide et se dire, nous n'avons pas envie pour nous et nos enfants de toujours dépendre. Et de dépendre des incertitudes, de telle ou telle déclaration, du choix d'un matin.
Sunday's summit is a critical moment for the path of Europe's collective security. With continued U.S. support increasingly unclear and NATO's coherence jeopardized, European leaders will need to carve a way out of this crisis by pulling the U.S. back towards a working deal.
Would you like to say something?
No.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky left the White House without signing the highly anticipated minerals deal after U.S. President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance berated him for being disrespectful. This morning, the internationally televised spat, which had drawn widespread reactions, was plastered across the front pages of Europe's newspapers. The UK's Daily Telegraph's headline read, "Make a deal or we're out." Zelensky left the White House shortly after the meeting had reached its boiling point, to which Trump responded he could come back when he's ready for peace. In an opinion piece, French newspaper Le Monde wrote about the drifting relationship between Ukraine and the US, the title reading "Ukraine and Europe alone against Russia." The clash had been a dream scenario for the Kremlin, that is according to Dutch newspaper De Volkskrant. Flemish newspaper De Morgen reported on claims made by American media that the tension started long before the two leaders sat down in the Oval Office. And Spain's El País said Trump had humiliated Zelensky and described the dispute as a first in diplomatic history.
The Kurdistan Workers' Party declared a ceasefire on Saturday, 2 days after their imprisoned leader called for the militant group to disarm. The conflict between Turkey and the PKK has led to tens of thousands of deaths since it began in 1984. Its initial aim was an independent Kurdish state, but later changed to demands for more autonomy. The ceasefire is the first sign of a break in the conflict since peace talks between the PKK and Ankara broke down in the summer of 2015.
The holy month of Ramadan began this weekend, which sees Muslims abstain from eating and drinking between sunrise and sunset. Celebrations were held across Europe as Muslims started their 30-day period of fasting and prayer, with a massive lantern procession taking place in the Turkish capital, Ankara. Ramadan is the month in which the Quran is believed to have been revealed to the Prophet Muhammad and is an integral part of the Islamic faith.
This year's Venice Carnival has entered its last weekend, with a packed program of festivities, performances, and exhibitions. Performers and visitors alike were seen on the streets of Venice in elaborate 18th century costumes that characterize the annual tradition. Carnival is celebrated all over Italy, but Venice's edition has drawn the most international recognition over the years. With ancient origins dating back to the 11th century, the Venice Carnival was revived in 1979 after almost 2 centuries of absence. Today, it is a staple of Venetian culture and draws thousands of visitors every year. This year, the carnival honors the famous Italian adventurer Giacomo Casanova on the 300th anniversary of his birth.